Hello, this is Mr. Bohlman, and we are talking about American history. Our topic for today is the effects, some of the effects, of the French and Indian War. And we're going to use our textbook, and we're going to look at some of the nice things that we have available to us in our textbook. Obviously, it's online, and I'm using my cursor here to have the textbook on a single page, and we have this audio symbol here, so when we do click this, the narration of the text is given to us.
Relations with Britain. Main idea.
And we will hear from that momentarily. But everything is really important here to understand what's available to you. Every section, there's a main idea highlighted in green. Main ideas, that's exactly what it does. It's giving you the main idea of the paragraph or paragraphs. It gives the history in you. Always trying to put the context from, if you were in a similar situation, how would you react in this case? They also have words that are highlighted and bolded. And for us, understanding our vocabulary is very important. That's why we do vocabulary for every unit and how to use those words in the right context. So what we're going to do is we're going to have the narration talk a little bit about the effects, or what happens as a result of the French and Indian War.
After the French and Indian War, Great Britain passed laws to protect British interests in the colonies. History and you. How do you feel when someone treats you unfairly? Read to learn how the colonists felt about British laws that affected them. With victory in the French and Indian War, the British gained control of a vast territory in North America. However, they faced the challenge of protecting their interests in the colonies and new territory. With the proclamation of 1763, the British government set up new provinces. The proclamation also prohibited or prevented colonists from moving west of the Appalachian Mountains.
Here's an example of a very important vocabulary word that's bolded and highlighted. Prohibited. Understanding how to use this word in the context of our studies. What they're referring to here is the proclamation line, or this law prevented colonists from moving further into the interior of North America.
Limiting Western settlement provided several advantages for Britain. It allowed the British government to control westward movement and to avoid conflict with Native Americans. Also, keeping colonists near the East Coast ensured a market for British goods in the coastal cities, where trade flourished. Finally, closing Western settlement allowed Britain to control the fur trade in the frontier. Britain planned to station 10,000 troops in the colonies to protect these interests. Britain needed new revenue, or incoming money, to pay troop expenses. Also, the French and Indian War left Britain with a huge debt. The King and Parliament believed that the colonists should pay part of the cost, so they issued new taxes on the colonies and began to enforce existing taxes more strictly. Britain's trade laws.
Another thing that we see is in this situation here is the heading for the section, and these are some subheadings. So we talk in this few short paragraphs, talk about relationship with Britain. In this particular paragraph, they're going to talk about Britain's trade laws, or laws that were directed towards trade, imports, exports, balance of trade, all the fundamental parts of mercantilism. But it gives us a very good idea that following the French and Indian War, the size of the British Empire grows. The British government tries to create a situation where they have the ability to control the colonies as much as they can in relation to conflicts with Native Americans, to the fur trade, and also maintaining good, strong, healthy markets along the coast. Also talks about the British government incurring a debt because of fighting the war. And the government's point of view that because part of the war was fought in the North American colonies, that the colonists should be responsible to pay for part of that cost, and those would come through new taxes or trying to enforce some tax laws that had been passed before but really never enforced, and we'll talk more about that in the near future. So, in a nutshell, we talked about the effects of the French and Indian War.